What's happening, everybody? Today we're going to do a little comparison video between a garden tractor loader, a super garden tractor loader, and a compact tractor with a loader. Now, in between the 455 and the 2032 would be a 1025R. I used to have one of those. There's a review of it up on my channel if you guys want to go watch that. That was a great machine. I just kind of outgrew it as far as needing to move some bigger stuff around. 2032 has been awesome. All right, so let's just compare and contrast, and we'll take a look at the garden tractor loader first. So this is a Johnson Workhorse Model 12 loader fitted to a John Deere 140. This one happens to be an H3 garden tractor. So this is obviously technically it's an aftermarket loader. It's not from John Deere, though you could order one of these through a dealership. But it was not a factory loader quite like the 455s and the 2032s. This tractor is a 14 horse, single cylinder gas engine. It's a hydrostatic rear end, no locker in the rear, and then obviously we just have some turf tires, weights, and chains. There is no power steering on this. It's not four-wheel drive. It does have great down pressure, so you can pick the front of the machine up. You can dig with it. They will lift quite a bit. I've had them lift anywhere between, 300 to 550 pounds, somewhere in that range. They're actually pretty impressive how much they can lift. But with the no power steering, it's not a diesel, and it's not four-wheel drive, and it doesn't even have diff lock. This is a very good option for someone who needs a loader that has a really, they don't have a huge budget to spend. At the end, we'll compare the different prices between these machines. This is a great machine for someone who's just doing some yard work, not doing anything too crazy, and they don't want to spend a fortune. This is a great machine for that. Yeah. Now we'll move on to a super garden tractor with a loader. Now, I'd consider this a super garden tractor. As you can see, it is quite a bit bigger than the 140. This machine also happens to be a 3-cylinder Yanmar diesel, though they did make almost this identical tractor with a 25. This is a 22 horse. I think it was a 25. I think they're both 25. There's a carburetor version, which is the 425, and then a fuel-injected version, which is the 445. This being the 455, it's diesel. The other nice thing is that this is also hydrostatic, but it has twin-touch pedals like all the new stuff has. So as you can see, you have your forward and reverse, whereas on this tractor, it's this lever right here. So, you're kind of controlling a lot with your hands on a machine like this, whereas on this one, it's pretty much, that's all with your feet. Another nice thing is that, as you can see on this one, it has an external spool valve, which is how you control the loader. On this machine, it utilizes the hydraulic auxiliary ports on the machine, and these are your controls: up, down, dump, curl, all that good stuff. That's right off of these two on the machine. Very similar to the bigger tractor. This one in particular is outfitted with a 3-point hitch. You can get 3-point hitches for these. It will be category 0, pretty much just like this. The other thing that's really nice about this tractor is it does have a differential lock. It is not four-wheel drive, but with the differential lock, you can get yourself out of a lot of sticky situations. The loader on this one is a factory loader. It is technically quick attach. It's not the quick park system like they have on the new machines, but you can take the loader off of the subframe fairly easily, whereas this one, it's quite a chore to take the loader off. So if you did want to mow or even snow plow or snow blow with it, it's a little bit easier than something like that. Power steering on this unit, that is awesome. You can get away with no power steering on the smaller garden tractor units when you're moving, but if you're sitting still, it's very hard to turn those. This one, you could be sitting still with 500 pounds in the bucket and you can turn no problem. The only thing that really does suck with John Deere is that they never made their hoods well. These hoods and side panels are always broken. As you can see, that hood is busted up. And on my new one, knock on wood, nothing's happened yet, but it's still a plastic hood, so yeah. So yeah, with ag tires on this one and the diff lock, I haven't ever gotten stuck with it. I'm sure I will at some point. This is a really handy machine. It's very versatile. You can maneuver it very easily. I do have a set of clamp-on pallet forks for it that I use quite often. It'll pick up a lawnmower similar to that, but it will not pick up a full garden tractor, which is fine. That's, you understand that. But it's a very nice machine, and this is a great tractor for someone who's looking for something that's in between. They don't quite need the big four-wheel drive compact, subcompact tractors, but they want something more than the garden tractors. This is a great step in that direction. And then we got the big boy. Now, this is my 2022 2032R with the 220R loader. This is a Model 40 loader, I believe. Yep, it's a Model 40. This I bought brand new, right from the dealership. I have about 150 hours on it. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of me buying it, so I will be doing a full overview on it. I do not plan on getting rid of this tractor ever. I love it to death. This tractor is it's a real tractor. 4-wheel drive, diff lock, 2-speed high-low. This one has steering brakes. The 140 actually has steering brakes, and the 455 doesn't. I don't think I've ever used the brakes on this machine, or the steering brakes, I should say, but it does have them, so that's nice. Like I said, diff lock, and here's your four-wheel drive, a nice parking brake. Of course, the other two also have parking brakes. You can see how much bigger this machine is, and it is a decent size larger. I've had about 1,400 pounds hanging off the front of these forks. That'll get it up off the ground. It's a full height. I get about, I don't know, I've gotten about 800 to full height probably, which is really impressive for one of these. The forks are just a little short, so you kind of get, a little tippy sometimes. Very similar to the 455. You can see it does have the twin touch pedals, and you can see I have used this machine quite a bit. I've worn the rubber coating right off of it. That might just be paint, actually. It is just paint. I thought that was always rubber. Anyway, I wore the paint right off of there. Twin touch pedals, that is by far the best setup. The setup on this one is nicer than nothing, but it still isn't a great setup. Similar to the 455, these are your loader controls right here, built right into the machine. So obviously you just plug your lines right in. You can also plug in like a snowplow, or it's pretty much the same setup as this. Very ergonomic, super comfortable. With the awesome seat here, you got your armrest. You can just run this thing all day long. Now this one also has a 3-point hitch. This is a category 1 3-point hitch. It also has a rear PTO, so you can run things like a brush hog, a tiller, stuff like that. Of course, you can get that stuff for the 455. It is just a little bit harder to find, seeing as they are older machines. With that being said, obviously out of these three, the 2032 is my favorite. I use this thing all the time. I absolutely love it. It's got tons of lights and hazards, and it'll tell you what's going on with it. The only thing that sucks is it does have to regen every once in a while, and it always regens at the worst possible time. It's actually kind of funny how awful it is. But yeah, other than that, I really have no complaints. The other nice thing is this is what John Deere calls their quick park loader. Pretty much all you do is you get the loader loose enough that you can pop these up by hand, which it's not right now, but you can pop those up, and then you just kind of back it off and then drive out, unhook the hydraulic lines, and you're good to go. So you can take this loader off within, it's a minute maybe, probably less than a minute. Whereas something like this, it takes a little bit longer, and something like that could take up to 45 minutes, maybe even longer, depending on how long it's been on there, if the bolts are stuck, all that stuff. Yeah, so that's just a quick little overview of what you're looking at. I'm really making this video just to send to people who ask me, they have a certain set of things that they need. A lot of people will buy the little garden tractors for doing like horse stalls and just on little farms, moving bedding around, stuff like that. And that's great for them because they're not really moving too much, and they need something that's small and agile to be able to get in and out of some tight places. People who have bigger farms who might want a machine like this, or maybe a mini skid steer, larger farms, and maybe like a homestead, something along those lines. And then obviously this is more for a serious person who's actually going to use it quite a bit. Of course, anyone can buy any one of these. It's just that this tractor obviously does the most work. 4-wheel drive, diff lock, high-low, all that good stuff. This is an animal. So a lot of people don't need to spend the money on that when they could get away with a 1025, which I wish I had here, or like a 455 or an X series. The early X series had loaders as well. With that being said, let's take a look at the costs, and I can also tell you about what a 1025 costs, and then you can go do research on your own on the 1025s. So I sell these garden tractor loaders anywhere from, when they're running and driving 100% ready to go, between $2,500 and $4,000, somewhere in that range. I've had really, really nice ones that have gone for $4,000. I've had ones that were in maybe more this condition, maybe a little bit worse, that went for $25,000. It's somewhere in that range, which is still, it's a very good bargain for what kind of work you can do with these. For something like this 455 here with the loader on it, obviously the diesel, this can fetch upwards of 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 depending on what area you're in and what condition the machine is in. Now, of course, you can get lucky and you can find them for cheaper, but a buddy of mine did just buy a 455 no loader, and he paid almost, I think he paid $3,000 for it, $3 or $4,000. So they're more expensive, but they are much more, it's a beast compared to this one. Your 1025 is going to be right around in the 20,000 range, depending on what options you get. But I believe I paid like 22 for mine, which is a really good deal. Those 1025s are awesome. And then, of course, you got the 2032R. I paid about 30 something for this. It's a lot of money, but if you really need something heavier duty to, get a bigger job done, this is definitely the way to go. But like I said, I've kind of highlighted all the different uses and things that I've seen people want to do with these machines. They're all great options. It just depends on what you're looking for and how much you're looking to spend. But with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Like I said, there will be a solo video on that 2032 coming up here very soon. There is also a solo video on the 455 already posted. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. See ya.